Okay, Arvind Mill as a stock has been a marked outperformer of late. It's not far away from a 52-week high. Markets are delighted the way how things are panning out for Arvind Mill. Denim prices have stabilized, and since Arvind predominantly is a big exporter, surely a weak rupee will help their fortunes going forward. Sanjay Lalbhai, the chairman and managing director of Arvind Mill, now joins us to discuss the business environment and what are the triggers for Arvind Mills in the short term. Mr. Lalbhai, good morning and thank you for joining us. Are you mighty excited that your stock is at an all-time high? Markets are believing that you're doing all the right things and the depreciation in rupee is only helping your export business?
We are, our main objective is to create shareholders value, so it's good that our stock is performing, but we do believe that it's highly undervalued, so there is a long way to go. As you know, now we are no more a denim company. Non-wovens has become a larger business than denim. Denim is only 30% of our total revenue. Brands and retail and real estate are the new growth engines. So all in all, yes, things are good. The depreciated rupee is definitely helping exports, but we have a major stake in the domestic market. As you know, brands and retail is a domestic play. So we have to also look at as to how the Indian economy is likely to fare.
Lalbhai, in general, there seems to be a slowdown in urban spending. Do you think that is impacting your brand business? Because the customers or the clientele you address, they are extremely brand conscious, but the problem with that clientele is that inflation is hitting their pocket.
You are right. The value segment, that is Mega Mart, is definitely hurting. Our premium brands and Brit to luxury is still not hurting. I think a whole lot of things will depend on the outcome of the election. If we have a stable government at center and if reforms are on its way, then I think we can look at a strong 2014. But if we have an unstable government at the center, then there is a need to worry.
Mr. Lalbhai, your company has announced last week a fresh tie-up in the garmenting segment with Japan-based Goodhill Corporation. Give us some insight on the nature of this joint venture. What is your stake in it?
Yes, you see, this is our entry into worsted and wool sector. It's a joint venture with Goodhill, one of the largest players of making suit makers in Japan. They have a 40% market share in customized suits, and this is a very modern factory, amongst the most modern in India definitely, and we'll be making suits. So we'll be making around 3,60,000 suits and around 600,000 trousers in this factory. The top line would be around 100 crores. We are 51%, 49% is with Goodhill, and this will help us make world-class suits. And as you know, Arvind as a brand, the retail business which we have started, it is offering a complete solution. You know, it is giving cotton fabrics. We have cotton where we are the leaders. It is offering wool and woolen products, and it is also offering linen. So it's a complete offering of a wardrobe kind of solution, and for which I think we needed to be in the woolen sector. So this joint venture definitely brings us or gets us an entry into the woolen sector.
You manage so many global partners together. You've got just about every global partner now is associated with you.
No, I think, you know, see, I think there is no point in reinventing the wheel. So wherever we don't have deep expertise, we believe that if we can have a joint venture or if we can have a transfer of know-how, then we'll be able to make progress in this new field faster. So that's broadly the kind of strategy which we are following. And all our joint ventures, all our relations with foreign companies have worked out very well. And this is not true for this generation. Ever since my grandfather started his joint ventures with ICI, Ciba Geigy and American Cyanamide, we have constantly or consistently, the Lalbhai Group has created value in all its joint ventures. So we know how to work with partners. We have always worked very well. All our partnerships are profitable, and we have always created value.
Mr. Lalbhai, do you have any plans of engaging with your customers through a web portal, because it is online shopping now which is fast catching up?
Well, I think you can wait for a new announcement. I think it will be made in the coming next 3 to 4 months. We have very strong plans to be present in that sector. So you will hear it once we are ready and once we are ready to launch.
Association with Polo, you've got association going with Tommy Hilfiger. My understanding is that you are getting Gap into India soon. Is my understanding right?
Well, as you know, we can't talk about as to which are the new joint ventures or associations we will be forming. But as and when we sign on the dotted line and we are ready to announce, I think we will talk to the media.
Let's talk about the branded or the branded retail segment. Now, for the quarter gone by, I was looking at the operating profit margins. The operating profit margins have gone up by about 150 bips. Do you think that was a one-off what you've reported?
No, I think, our brands in retail business, I think our power brands, which is Flying Machine, Arrow, US Polo and Tommy Hilfiger, are performing as well as some of the best brands in India with a very healthy EBITDA. They are throwing up free cash flow and they are growing all 30 to 40%. The brands in retail, the entire portfolio is still not showing the kind of EBITDA margins which our best competitors are showing, because we have growth brands and we have new brands which are still losing money. But I think as most of our growth brands also develop into power brands and start performing, which would happen in this next year and a year after, then you would see that our brands and retail portfolio will be performing as well as some of the best performers in this sector, and giving you, double digit or higher into 15-20% EBITDA margins, and very good ROCE and very good free cash flow. So we are very upbeat about our portfolio. It's amongst the best portfolios any company has in India. We have some of the best and most powerful brands which we are, yes.
Land monetization is another aspect that investors are tracking pretty closely, and we understand that you could raise about 150 to 200 crores in the next few years via this. Could you confirm this for us, and which are the land parcels that you are currently putting on the block?
No, we have around 11 lakh square meters near Santej, which we'll be monetizing, and we have another 1,50,000 in the heart of the city, which we'll be monetizing. So the total value would be in excess of 700 to 800 crores. Amongst developing it ourselves and putting it on the block, we'll explore both the possibilities. And as you know, real estate is a new business now, and it's into a separate SPV. We'll be having 14 kind of ongoing projects in development next year. So, and it is growing out of its own free cash flows. So it's not touching any of our cash flows of our core business, and it should become into a large and successful and profitable business going forward.
Lalbhai, if I just pick up some words from your answer, you are confident, you are reasonably optimistic, and you expect that your brand business will do well. So if I combine all three words, looks like you are on course to beat your guidance.
Well, as you know, we at best talk about the next quarter. We are not giving yearly guidance, but I think as things stand today, I think textiles is going through a very, very good kind of period because of depreciated rupee, and I think China becoming less competitive, and India becoming amongst the most competitive countries in the world. So yes, we are going through a resurgence of textile industry, and if we manage our business well, and we have many growth drivers, as you rightly pointed out, I think there is a reason to feel confident about the future.
Final question. Can you give me a flavor of your cash flow and your total debt position, and are you in a position right now to use your cash flow to reduce your debt?
See, I think we are growing at around 25 to 30% on a fairly high top line. You know, we'll be crossing $1 billion top line this year. And when you have to grow $1 billion company by 25-30%, it requires reasonable amount of cash flow to grow and achieve that kind of top line growth. Having said that, we have very categorically said that all our growth will come from our free cash flow. So that's one principle which we are following. We will not allow our total EBITDA to debt to go up. On the contrary, year in, year out, we would want to improve that ratio of our EBITDA to total debt. So we are on course as far as that is concerned. Our total debt is around 3,000 crores. Our EBITDA should be around 1,000 crores. So we have an EBITDA to debt of 3. We would be very happy if we bring it down to 2.5 in the next 1 or 2 years. And as we have done some long-term planning, it is showing that we can maintain this kind of growth and also generate free cash flow to pay up our debt beyond 2 years. So if our plans were to go right, yes, the possibility would be to not only improve the EBITDA to total debt ratio, but also have free cash flow after this kind of growth to reduce our debt sharply. So, but that's not going to happen for the next year and the year after. It can happen in 15-16. Going forward from 15-16 onward.
Okay, Mr. Lalbhai, really appreciate you taking the time out, and good chatting with you as always. That's Arvind Limited hitting a fresh 52-week high and only scaling higher. The stock is now higher by about 0.7%. 157 is where it is currently. The other one which has outperformed of late has been Lupin. Ramesh Swaminathan, CFO and President Strategy and Planning at Lupin, joins us now. Ramesh,